to you live from Nairobi, Kenya. This is TV47 Weekend Edition. I trust that you had a lovely Sunday. So did I. Let's take a look at the highlights just to see what we are preparing and what we have prepared for you. Tonight, an autopsy for Gilbert Kinyua is set for next week after Kenyatta National Hospital confirmed CCTV footage exists, contradicting earlier reports. The footage has been submitted to the DCI for further investigation.
The relevant CCTV footages for that level and that ward were taken over by DCI, and I have not said that there's any which was not recording.
The High Court's dismissal of Kenya Kwanza's majority claim sparks debate. Wiper's Kalonzo Musyoka supports the ruling, urging Azimio to claim majority seats, while Kenya Kwanza leaders call it untimely.
On Tuesday, muende mukae mahali ya majority in the National Assembly. Because mahakama imesema hawa jamaa walinyakua.
And new details surface in the murder of Wells Fargo HR Director Willis Ayeko. Abducted, tortured and killed. His killers drained 1.2 million Kenyan shillings before dumping his body in Nyamboga River. Investigations reveal the murder was paid for.
We called severally and sent him a message to please come home.
Plus, a grade 7 student from Nyakianga Primary School in Murang'a County is in police custody awaiting arraignment. He allegedly lured classmates at knife point, raped them and recorded the attacks. All right, welcome to your number one home of untold stories. Rhoda Nyamai is on the sign language docket. Let's get into it. Now, the autopsy of Gilbert Kinyua is scheduled to take place this week. This development follows an address from the Kenyatta National Hospital management, which has revealed that CCTV footage is indeed available, contrary to earlier reports suggesting otherwise. The hospital management further revealing that all video recordings have been submitted to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, for further investigations. Ruga Ival begins a bulletin tonight.
The disturbing killing is raising serious concerns about patient safety within these walls. It was here, in Ward 7B, dedicated to neurological patients, that Gilbert Kinyua met his gruesome murder around 6 o'clock last Friday. According to hospital staff accounts, the last time they saw Kinyua alive was during a late-night doctor's visit. A nurse who conducts morning rounds discovered his covered body with blood splattered across his bed. Following this tragic incident, hospital management led by acting CEO Dr. William Sigilai clarified earlier speculations regarding surveillance footage. They have now confirmed that all relevant CCTV recordings have been submitted to the DCI for thorough investigation.
The relevant CCTV footages for that level and that ward were taken over by DCI, and I have not said that there's any which was not recording, unless it's information that may have come from outside sources that we would not take responsibility for.
Dr. Sigilai is confident that no outsider entered the ward to commit this crime.
For nurses on duty, there is one station in the ward. The shape of the ward is L-shaped. When you go in, you can see the nurse's desk from the entrance.
Gilbert had been transferred from St. Mary's Langata Hospital back in the month of December last year after experiencing more health complications. However, he had recently shown promising signs of recovery. As investigations continue, no suspects have been named by the DCI yet. However, the DCI are conducting interviews with patients and staff present at the ward during the time of the incident.
Gilbert Kinyua's murder keeps on unraveling, this being the second incident occurring at the Kenyatta National Hospital after another occurrence took place in the year 2015 that caused the death of Cosmos Mutunga. It is only one plea from the family's victims: justice. Ruga Ival, TV47.
Right, let me take you all the way to Murang'a County, where a gang of 6 men in a tinted black Subaru escaped the wrath of angry residents of Kagumo as they attempted to abduct a well-known local businessman, Ndwati Masharia, also known as Mushata. Our reporter Anastasia Mukabi with more details.
Residents in Kagumo, Murang'a County are filled with rage following the attempted abduction of a renowned businessman in the area, Ndwati Masharia. Masharia's son narrated how 6 men claiming to be KRA officials stormed their home in search, asking for his father.
Nilikuwa nimetoka kwa barabara kidogo hapo, wakaniambia niingie ndani, wanataka babangu. Sasa nilijifanya mfanyikazi, nikawaelekeza. Mama akaniambia ameenda side za huko kwa ng'ombe.
The attempts by Ann Waithera, Masharia's wife, to reason with the armed and masked men fell on deaf ears.
Nikaenda nikaambia baba Shiko, kuna watu wameshaingia kwa nyumba na nimewambia wewe huko kwa ng'ombe. Sasa yeye nikamwambia yeye huko kwa ng'ombe, sasa yeye akatoka.
In the face of escalating danger, Masharia decided to surrender himself, only to discover that the men were not legitimate KRA officers after they accused him of not settling 1.3 billion Kenya shillings debt at Absa Bank, where he claims to hold no account. It is at this point that his wife began screaming, alerting the neighbors.
Mimi niko na gari yangu na police station ka gari. Sasa tuende Kangari, kama mimi nikurumisha gari yangu tuende Kangari. Waniambia ni akina nani? Sasa kwa niambia nitoe kitambulisho. Nikamwambia sitatoa. Nyinyi kwanza kitambulisho mtoe zenu. Sasa kuna mtu alitoa.
Sasa hiyo tu waliona watu wamejaa kwa barabara, ndio waanza kutoka mmoja na kaingia Subaru wakaenda.
With 6 similar incidents having taken place in the area, the residents are calling on the government to investigate the matter.
Tulienda kwa polisi tukapiga report na hawa wenyewe ndio walituambia hakuna watu walikwenda kwao kuripoti ati wanakuja hapa.
Katika hii eneo yetu ya Kangari Division pale wa Marire kuna watu wamepotea, hata hawajai kupatikana, na wametoweka toka last December na hawajai kuonekana.
Anastasia Mukabi, TV47.
Right, thank you, Mukabi, for that. And still in the Mount Kenya region, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is expected to announce his next political move and to offer direction to the vote-rich Mount Kenya region. Now, this comes after a flurry of meetings with Mount Kenya leaders at his Wamunyoro home. Our reporter Mike Agongo tells us more from live from Wamunyoro. Mike, you've been following up on this. Which way should and has the former Deputy President said?
Thank you, Stanley Nyaringita. Indeed, we are coming to you live from Wamunyoro here in Madera constituency in Nyeri County from former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's official residence, where he was speaking to the press about what he has gathered since he started visiting or receiving visitors from across the country. And he was just talking to us about how many kind of leaders from which county he has received visitors, and he said that he has been receiving visitors from every corner of this country just to gain or receive views and advices from all these stakeholders and political leaders whom he claims that he has never given any amount of money, but rather he has been receiving gifts from a section of them from Kisii County, from Kilifi, from Western, and he says that he has been collecting enough information on the way forward he should be taking in his political future. He said that according to what he has gathered from all these stakeholders and political leaders is that since he was elected under UDA party and together with President William Ruto, they have decided, or Mount Kenya people have decided to quit UDA party, and they will be no longer be part and parcel of this UDA party too. He also said that since he was they are going to re-strategize or whatever they had decided to do, since they had decided to support President William Ruto at the beginning of 2022 elections, and after they were elected, they are going to re-strategize and come up with their own party, which is still in showroom, according to him. And he refused to say which kind of party or what type of party or which party he has come up with, or is it going to be a new party or rather an old party that they are going to refurbish or not. But he mentioned one thing, that the party is in making and is in the process of announcement, and in May this year he says he is going to announce this new party he is going to take part with in 2027. He says he is still gathering information from across the border of Mount Kenya and other regions, just to make sure that he comes up with a coalition that can take him and other elected or other leaders to State House come 2027, or rather to remove President William Ruto into office, since he, according to him, lied to Mount Kenya residents. So Mr. Rigathi Gachagua has said that he will be directing Kenyans or giving directions on whatever he intends to do in May this year, May this year. The last thing he said he shall incorporate all stakeholders, including youths and Gen Zs, requesting all parents or Kenyans to advise their Gen Z or their children to take or to collect ID so that they can be able to vote in large numbers come 2027. Rigathi Gachagua, also one thing he claimed is that in 2007, President William Ruto was part and parcel of whatever happened. So whatever may or was mentioned by Webuye West Member of Parliament Dan Wanyama may have something to do with 2007 and may be repeated. Maybe this is something that can repeat itself from 2007 to 2025. So he is urging leaders to stop listening to such kind of utterances from leaders from Western region, and this they may have been directed by President William Ruto to say so, though these are his own words. So we will be keeping tabs to follow on whatever he says or he intends to do in May this year, or to announce to Kenyans, or whether he will be starting or launching his new party, or he will be joining another party, because about 32 or more parties have been registered at the Office of Registrar of Political Parties, some of which have been linked with him to take him to 2027. He has joined hands with other parties. We have seen DAPK party, we have also seen Wiper party joining hands with Rigathi Gachagua, just to make sure that they do their best and remove President William Ruto from office come 2027. We are here in Wamunyoro in Madera constituency in Nyeri County. We have been following a live coverage of whatever Mr. Rigathi, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has been telling Kenyans, and we will be bringing all this to Kenyans in our subsequent bulletin from tomorrow morning, and keeping tabs to whatever receptions Kenyans will be receiving from this end and across the country. Back to you, Nyaringita.
Well, thank you very much, Mike Gungu, for that. And all those particular details, as he says, we'll be definitely following up that for you and answering and trying to answer this question, which way Gachagua. Still in the Mount Kenya region. Now listen to this story. A grade 7 student at Nyakianga Primary School in Mathioya constituency, Murang'a County, is being held at Nyakianga Police Station and waiting to be arraigned at Kangema Lokot on 10th of February 2025, which is tomorrow. So according to the parents, the student is accused of defiling girls and sodomizing young boys, later threatening to kill them if they dared speak out about the ordeal. The boy was arrested with the police managing to recover a knife that they believe he was using, together with the phone that they believe he was using to take pictures of the victims during the heinous assault.
Kijana alikuwa anadhulumu watoto kwa darasa na anawekea hapo kisu, anawadhulumu sexually. Hata hii ingine ya kushida akiwaitisha vitu, uniletee hii, na watoto akichukua hatua kuambia mwalimu hakuna Hakuna hatua hata moja anachukua, anaambiwa aache hiyo mshene.
Ndio maana tunasema hatuna imani na hii shule. Yule mwalimu mkubwa wako huku, tunataka atoke hii shule na aende kabisa.
Biragu kwa leo ni kuomba serikali yetu ya Mheshimiwa William Ruto kuhakikisha kwamba shida yetu ya hapa Nyakiaga na waziri wa elimu Bwana Julius Migos aje hapa, atembee hapa na hii shida yote tutatuliwe.
Watoto hawana hatia. Munisikize, watoto hawana hatia. Watoto, walimu hawana hatia. Najua pahali mmelenga. Na nimechukua notes zangu, nitaenda kwa ofisi zingine kubwa kuelezea Nyakianga inaendelea namna gani.
Tunaongea hivi, tumemwacha anaongea na county. Na tumesema ya kwamba tunataka mkuje ile Jumatatu, mkikuja tutaongea, tutasemezana na tutapata suluhisho. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa ombi langu kwenyu.
Right, quite the story there. Will definitely be following up on those details just for you. And to matters bunge supremacy and the High Court ruling made on Friday dismissing the idea that the Kenya Kwanza coalition was the majority in parliament has been challenged by the Kenya Kwanza members of parliament. Take a look at this story.
Tunashangaa sababu haiko hapo wakati hiyo na hiyo la kudumu mpaka sasa. Haya, kujeni hapa. Mama wetu Grace ndio huyu na watoto wake MCA Julia hapa hapa na
Kore lena la buang ena sa drage. Kore yote ne nangari yogina na gere magre. Hiyo
ndio familia mama namba 5, mama namba 6 alikuwa anaitwa Salina. Huyu anaitwa Pauline Letangule Elias Lemuna, ama tuseme tu Pauline Lemuna. Ndio ni maungwa. Sasa nafikiri wakati alikuwa anaolewa nasikia alikuwa na wako wengi hapo.
Ruth na Shpai na Daisy kwa niaba ya grandchildren watoe tribute yao.
Today we gather from the heavy hearts as we say goodbye to our beloved mother-in-law. She touched our lives in many ways.
Familia wedding akapewa, unajua kwa kimaa mama akiolewa anapokuja siku hiyo ya wedding anapewa. Despite battling diabetes and ulcers for many years, Mama Noro managed to live a healthy life most of the time. In the righteous path. She was an active member of the church and was a member of the church choir. So that is the eulogy of Mama. MC, thank you. Hospital for their dedicated and selfless service in caring for Mama Noro. The family also wishes to thank Dr. Solomon and Jirini na sita ya mwezi ujao, mwezi uliopita. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio historia ndogo. Mama alikuwa anaishi hapo, nyumba yake iko hapa.
Wilson Lelebo. Mimi nimeoa katika hii BAMBA hii ambaye ni Eternal Peace. Your son in-laws.
Right, to something that may really affect you or your loved one. Listen to this. The Minister of Health has intensified crackdowns on illegal beauty spas as well as aesthetic clinics conducting dangerous invasive surgeries, with recent assessments conducted in Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru and Eldoret. So the Public Health Principal Secretary, that is Mary Muthoni, has noted that a total of 26 aesthetic clinics were assessed. Out of the 26, 20 were found compliant with licensing and operational standards. 3 had applied for registration and were awaiting approval, while another 3 were operating illegally without registration. The Principal Secretary noted that with the findings, there's need for stricter enforcement and public awareness. Meanwhile, all beauty and aesthetic business have been urged to comply with legal requirements to ensure client safety.
we directed that those clinics must be closed immediately, and we shall continue inspecting so that we also do not continue losing people in the name of beauty. If you have opened a massage parlor, please ensure that it is doing that work, massage only. Do not have invasive procedures in the name of beauty. That procedure must be operated in a well-registered, licensed, and with people with the skills to do that procedure.
Right now to some weekend politics, although it in Nakuru, and President William Ruto's aide, that is Farouk Kibet, has urged Kenyans to shun away from tribalism and for matters peace and unity. Chichi Josephine tells us about this.
In company of other Kenya Kwanza allies, Farouk Kibet, a long-time close aide of President William Ruto, asked all Kenyans to unite and shun away from tribalism.
Tuache mambo ya ukabila. Watu ya Hamisi mnasema ukabila ishindwe. Sisi tumeona kuna viongozi wanahubiri ukabila. Na tumegundua kwamba mahali ya kufukuzia hao wakabila kabisa waende. Watu ya Vihiga wakishasema ukabila ishindwe, itashindwa siku zote.
Farouk spoke in Vihiga County, where he engaged residents and other Western Kenya leaders, as he also urged Kenyans to pray for former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to get the AU Commission chairperson position.
Sisi wote tusimame na tumuombe Raila Odinga aweze kufaulu kwa hii kiti anatafuta ya ulimwengu ya dunia hii. Nyinyi watu ya Vihiga mtamuombea Raila Odinga aweze kufaulu.
National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, while lauding President Ruto's leadership and defending his projects, noted that every Kenyan has a right to enjoy services without a discrimination.
Rais na sisi wote kwa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza na hii ya broad base, tumesema hatutaangalia mtu amezaliwa akiwa Mkikuyu ama Mluya ama Mjaluo, tutamuona ama Msomali, tutamuona kama mtoto wa Kenya na ni Mkenya anayestahili maendeleo kama Mkenya mwingine yote.
Ichung'wah defended President William Ruto's directive of removal of extra vetting involved for persons from northern Kenya to get IDs.
What the president has done is to do away with the excessive vetting, unfair vetting of fellow Kenyans from the northern parts of Kenya who are being taken through a very painful exercise of vetting to ensure that they enjoy the same rights as any other citizen in the Republic of Kenya.
On the matter of 2027 election politics, Kimilili Member of Parliament Didmas Barasa drummed up support for President William Ruto re-election, calling upon the Western Bloc to support the idea through their votes, sentiments echoed by Bungoma Governor Kenneth Lusaka and other leaders.
Mimi nataka ikifika mwaka wa 2027 tupige kura yetu kwa kikapu moja, tupigie kura William Samoei Ruto aende miaka yake ya mwisho 5.
And we want to say here that tutasimama na kusupport Mheshimiwa Ruto mpaka tupate matokeo ambayo itakuja kuweka pesa kwa mfuko ya watu.
Chichi Josephine, TV47.
All right, thank you very much, Chichi Josephine, for that. And still in matters politics, the ODM party leadership has urged its members to stop criticizing their leaders, and particularly the Secretary General of ODM, that is Edwin Sifuna. Speaking at the Western Kenya ODM leaders meeting in Kakamega, the leaders voiced concerns. The leaders also said that in no formal agreement with President William Ruto's administration, they also confirmed plans to field a presidential candidate in the 2027 elections and announced that the party would act following a recent court ruling declaring Azimio the majority in parliament. Led by ODM leader Anyang' Nyong'o, the leaders called on members of parliament to introduce a motion to challenge President Ruto's decision to abolish ID vetting, citing potential security risks. This comes just days after President William Ruto sent a proclamation on the registration and issuance of IDs in border counties.
around by junior people in the party. Na mimi kama DPL niko, sitakubali hiyo. Wewe una complain juu ya official wa party. Umesikia baba akicomplain juu ya Sifuna? Have you ever heard baba complaining? Sifuna is our Secretary General. Na lazima aheshimiwe kivivyote vile. Mkiona tumenyamaza, Sifuna anaongea sauti ya chama.
So Edwin Sifuna, somebody we have full confidence in, and I'd like you at Wananchi to give him full support. As Secretary General, what? ODM. Nobody, even the president, can imagine that you can create laws that govern movement across the borders, which makes it very difficult for the people who live in a county there to have their freedom and their protection. I'm a civil. So I'd like MPs to go to Parliament and make it very clear that any move by anybody, I don't want to mention names, to begin confusing citizenship on our borders when we know these are our counties and make problem for any county which is a border county, it's completely unconstitutional.
Tukauliza, what is our position as ODM on these matters of the broad-based and the rest? Na tumesema mambo matatu. Kwanza tumesema ya kwamba sisi kama chama cha ODM ni chama a distinct party, and we are going to strengthen ourselves because the purpose of any political party is to capture power.
Tutakuja hapa na party leader muwe tayari kutueleza are we in the government or we are not.
It is also fraudulent. Mkono huu wa kushoto tunasema we are working with Ruto. Na hii
Right, you're watching TV47 Weekend Edition. Rhoda Nyamai and I are taking a short break, so can probably just take a sip of water as we come back. TV47 Investigates will be giving you more details about the death of Willis Ayeko and much more. Don't go too far.
Are you ready to elevate your business game?
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
Kama wewe ni mfanyabiashara, huwezi kaa bure, unajipanga taratibu vile inavyofaa.
Join us each week as we dive into the stories of the world's most driven entrepreneurs.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
The Grind, where business meets brilliance. Tune in every Monday at 7:30 p.m. because your business deserves the best.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in? I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Right, welcome back. This is a TV47 Weekend Edition. Rhoda Nyamai is on the sign language docket. News journalist Stanley Nyaringita. Now to our main feature, which you have been definitely waiting. Tonight, shocking details have emerged of how Wells Fargo Human Resource Director Willis Ayoko was abducted, tortured and killed. His killers drained 1.2 million Kenyan shillings from his bank and M-Pesa accounts before dumping his body in Nyamboga River, the border of Quisero and Gem constituencies. Our very own Lennox Sengre unravels this mystery.
Walikuwa nasikia tu mtu analia hapo. Hata mchana anateswa, mchana analia, mchana watu wanasikia na watu wameogopa hiyo bomu.
Kukimbia kuenda tukapata ingia kwa ile nyumba na kakataa atuingie hapo. Huyo ni mtu mlevi. Nikifikiria kinye niliona, sioni kama I am normal, sioni kama niko normal sana.
Called severally and sent him a message to please come home.
A chilling discovery of abduction, torture and murder of Wells Fargo HR Director Willis Ayeko, who was kidnapped and taken to the home of a suspect known as Utuchi, an alleged chicken thief. Bound for days, his captors transferred 1.2 million from his bank account, withdrew 64,000 from his M-Pesa and took 34,000 loan from his Fuliza account. TV47 has learned that all this took place as killers continued torturing Willis Ayeko inside a house in Quisero constituency.
When this thing started, it looked like a nightmare that we'll wake up from it. But as the days go by, the nights go by, it's almost like a confirmation that for real, he's not there.
TV47 Investigates went undercover for 3 months to bring you the inside chilling murder of Willis Ayeko. This quiet homestead in Nyamninia village, Game constituency, Siaya County, holds the darkest secrets of the last moments of Willis Ayeko, a celebrated human resource director at Wells Fargo. It was here on the night of October 18th, 2024, after attending a night vigil for his friend's late mother, that Ayeko's fate was sealed. What began as a journey from Nairobi to Mon with a friend ended in a murder most foul that has left a trail of chilling details. Ayeko's decaying body will later be discovered dumped in a seasonal river a few kilometers from the night vigil. On Friday, the 18th October, Ayeko left Nairobi to attend a night vigil for his friend's late mother in Nyamninia area in Siaya County. Slain Ayeko instructed a driver by the name Julius Mbuthia to drive his car registration number KCY 004P. A Ford Ranger double cabin model, which is orange in color, to Kisumu International Airport, where he would later pick the car upon landing. According to our investigation, being a civilian firearm holder, Ayeko flew from Nairobi to Kisumu via KQ armed with a Seska pistol CX75P07 of a serial number B413483 with 27 rounds of ammunition. According to the paperwork seen by TV47, he landed in Kisumu Airport at 2:45 p.m. before heading to Nyamninia, where he arrived at 3:56 p.m. on the same day, 18th October 2024. Upon arrival in game, Ayeko was received by his longtime friend. According to our investigation, Ayeko joined 4 other friends within the homestead. At the funeral, the compound had 2 armed police officers who were providing security during the vigil. At around 9:50 p.m., Ayeko left the night vigil in game for his rural home in Alego in Siaya County. He left alone in his Ford Ranger double cabin. Ayeko was to attend another event in Kakamega the following day, the Saturday 19th October 2024, that never materialized. According to the motor vehicle track record in our possession, Ayeko's car was ignited at 9:52 p.m. and at 9:54 p.m. the vehicle stopped. This is barely 2 minutes duration from the night vigil. This is the point believed that Ayeko was abducted by his captors. The investigation would later reveal the confession of a boda rider, Charles Otieno Odhiambo, alias Buddha, who admitted to being paid 10,000 to assist in the abduction and murder of Ayeko. According to the boda rider, he was contacted by Victor Otieno, alias Cisco, the main suspect in Ayeko's murder, who is currently in custody over the murder. The rider detailed that they met as killers at Matumbu Trading Center in a club by the name Amigos to plan on how to kill Ayeko. All this time, Ayeko was still alive, attending a night vigil. After the meeting had been firmed up on how to execute Ayeko's murder, the killer team left Mutumbu in 2 motorbikes to Nyamninia village, where they would pick Ayeko. Upon arrival at the scene of abduction, Robert Wakolo Koth, alias Champe, and Cisco, who are brothers, alighted from their respective motorbikes and moved into the darkness, holding a bag, and came back dressed in a military uniforms, armed with rifles. According to the rider, who confessed to have been involved in the execution of the murder, the first murder suspect by the name Champe was armed with an AK-47 rifle fitted with bayonet, while the other suspect by the name Cisco was armed with a shotgun. The confession further details how Champe and Cisco left the rider and proceeded to a night vigil where Ayeko was attending. A few minutes after Ayeko had ignited his Ranger car, Champe and the brother are said to have ambushed Ayeko. Champe is said to have come driving Ayeko's Ford Ranger to where 2 riders were and signaled the rider to follow the vehicle. According to the car records in our possession, the vehicle made several turns on the rough road before making his way to Busia-Kisumu Highway. Ayeko's abduction took another harrowing twist within the same night of Friday 18th October 2024, where the killers are said to have made their way to this homestead. This is the homestead of Duncan Ochieng Obongo alias Otuchi. He is the guy who allegedly tortured Ayeko to death. At this homestead, the first and the second suspects by the name Cisco and Champe allegedly pulled Ayeko from his vehicle and dragged him to this muddy house. At this time, Ayeko was handcuffed from behind with a sack placed over his head. This homestead is of interest because Otuchi abetted Ayeko's murder. He lives alone here, but he offered Ayeko's killers the house to his son who lives in Kisumu, the house where Ayeko would be detained, tortured before being murdered. The photos inside the house are gory. Clothes believed to have been used to wipe away Ayeko's blood are still evident here. Our investigations has revealed that Ayeko had a Samsung model mobile phone, the main suspect by the name Cisco, while inside this house, changed from a military attire to blue jacket and instructed the rider to take him to Kisumu, leaving Champe and the other suspects in the house with Ayeko. In Kisumu, the killers made numerous M-Pesa withdrawals from various M-Pesa shops in Kisumu using Ayeko's mobile phone and ID. Ayeko had 2 Safaricom lines, 6 bank accounts with different banks, and from our analysis, it is only the I&M bank accounts that was active. These bank accounts are of interest on the night of 18th October 2024 to 21st October, when Ayeko was still being held in Otuchi's son's house. The killers transferred 1.1 million to an M-Pesa account for Willis Ayeko, then withdrew. TV47 has established that this M-Pesa account belongs to murdered Ayeko. The killers withdrew first bulk of money in Kisumu on the 19th October 2024 at 36 minutes past midnight. Our damning investigation reveals that before Ayeko's abduction, he had a balance of 63,463 in his M-Pesa. All this amount was withdrawn by his killers. Further, when the killers had withdrawn all the amounts from his mobile phone, they further went to his M-Pesa account and borrowed 36,000 from his Fuliza account and withdrew. This means that a total of 1.2 million was withdrawn from Ayeko's mobile phone when he was still being held at Otuchi's son's house. TV47 cast its net deeper again into this village in Quisero, where it has emerged that on Saturday 19th October 2024, a day after Ayeko was abducted, another interesting but sad occurrence followed.
Hii nyumba ilikuwa Sorota House, huyu jamaa alifinyiwa hapa kwa hii nyumba. Sio huko hapa.
At around 4 p.m., almost 12 hours after Ayeko was abducted, neighbors say Ayeko was still alive, though he was crying in pain for help inside this house. A neighbor whose identity will remain anonymous detailed to TV47 how he, together with 3 other neighbors, heard Ayeko screaming inside this house, but upon rushing to help Ayeko, they were blocked by Otuchi, who alleged that was his drunk friend and that he will sort out the matter. The neighbors told TV47 that they retreated as Otuchi entered his son's house, and shortly Ayeko stopped screaming.
ilikuwa saa 10 jioni. Kwa saa hiyo ndio tulisikia nduru na tulikuwa watatu. Sasa kuenda, jamaa alikuwa hapo karibu na geti yake. Yeye akatangulia kuingia kama bado tunakuja, juu tulikuwa mbali kidogo. Sasa kufika kwa geti hivi akatuambia, bwana, sasa hiyo huyo ni mtu mlevi, hiyo ni yake na yeye. Sasa tuwachane tu naye. Kabidi tuwachane. Hata tu kuingia kwa boma. Alikataa tusiingie. Utuchu najua mara mingi ni mtu ameishi akaetika ile hali ya kulewa, tabia zingine mbovu kama hizi uizi za kuku, mandizi hizo ndio tunajuaga kwake. Lakini ya tu kujua kama tu kama hii anaweza husika naye.
Our investigation has established that Ayeko was not killed instantly. He spent some days being held and tortured inside this house. In what would end the life of a celebrated Wells Fargo Human Resource Director Willis Ayeko was puzzled at night, where Otuchi, Champe and his brother Cisco, after this chilling murder, removed Ayeko's body at night. Here again, they applied 2 avocado branches to carry already murdered Ayeko, but they were defeated, dropping the branches here before resolving to drag him down the slope of River Nyamboga, where they would dispose the body at the shore of Nyamboga stream.
Wakati wa saa 6 hapo saa 5 kwa nimeenda kuchunga, kapata simu hiyo Dhiambo, nikampigia simu akaniambia kuna mtu ameuawa kwa mtaro hapa. Nikamuuliza mtaro gani, akaniambia huko kwa karibu kwa Nyasarodha. Nyasarodha ni ile boma. Sasa nikamwambia okay, ngoja kidogo. Ndio nikapigia assistant chief. Akaniambia enda uangalie ni nani. Kweli nilikuja nikapata pale kwa Nyasarodha. Kufika hapo akanipigia, akaniuliza hujafika? Nikamwambia ndio mimi na karibia. Akaniambia karibia, usishike na usonge karibu, unipigie simu. Kufika hapa nikaangalia yeye, nikampigia simu. Akaniambia wanakuja hata na afisa chief wa Dudi na njia gani ya kufika hapo na gari. Nikamuuliza hapo kwa ofisi yako turemuka tu mpaka kwa Hagai. Ukifika kwa Hagai utaona tu watu. Kweli saa kidogo wamefika wote, yeye afisa chief wa Dudi, chief saa kidogo Mkaka pia amefika. Saa kidogo watu tu wanajaa hapa wengi, hata ndugu ya Ayeko kidogo nasikia nalia akikuja. Baada ya muda mfupi tu sijui alikuwa tu humo.
Sasa within no time hao maafisa wakapigia wenzao wa DCI. Kumbe hawakuwa mbali sana, walikuwa tu kwa kutafuta hiyo mtu. Sasa wakakuja na gari immediately. Sasa wakati baada ya kupiga ripoti pia tukapigia chief yetu sasa. Hata tukasikizana tukutane hapa. So sisi na mapikipiki na hao DCI wakachukua polisi tukakuja hapa. Kweli kuangalia tukapata kuna mwili ya mwanaume ile umri wa makamu, lakini umelala ndani ya maji kifudifudi.
Wakamtoa hapo, wakamweka hapa, watu wakakuja, watu wa daktari nini, wakabeba yeye wakaenda. Sasa kuenda wakakaa karibu, baada ya kuenda nasikia ufununu kwa watu. Kuna mtu alikuwa anapigwa kwa fulani hapa. Alikuwa analia, "Mnisaidie," na kuna mtu anaenda kusaidia. Kidogo mwingine ananiambia hivi. Kidogo mwingine ananiambia hivi. Nikasema sasa hii maneno mimi naambiwa mimi ni serikali. Nikinyamaza nayo ni mbaya. Ngozi ilikuwa imetoka kwa hizo mkono ulikuwa umefungwa hivi. Amelala kichwa imeelekea pande. Amelala cross maji. Maji inapita tu na yeye yako tu hapo. Hii kitanda ilianza kutendeka Ijumaa, Jumamosi, Jumapili. Lakini Jumamosi mchana huyu mjamaa alikuwa hajakufa. Alikuwa bado ako hai. Lakini bado anateswa. Sasa labda Jumapili ndiye aliuawa, na Jumatatu hiyo akabebwa akaletwa hapa kwa sababu ya mateso mingi huko, na ukuja hapa ndio mwili ilikuwa imeharibika. Mchana kuna wale walikuwa karibu, walikuwa nasikia kelele, huyu jamaa kilia. Wakati hao walikuwa vijana wawili, wakati walikimbia ukienda hapo, mwenye kutenda hiyo kitendo anasema huyu ni mtu mlevi, amelewa, mimi ndio najua kudili na yeye, muachane na mimi. Na wakarudi kweli sasa wanajua hapo kuna kwa na ulevi na vitendo kama hivyo wanatenda. Kweli wakaenda.
6 days later, after Yeko disappeared on the 23rd October 2024, then 18-year-old Form 3 student at a local school stumbled on a known body floating in Nyamboga stream on the border of Game and Quisero constituencies before informing the area chief.
Peleka nikafika kwa river, a stream. Naita Lidende. Fika hapo nika cross, nikaona some of flies kama ziko hapo. Nikarudi nyuma nikaangalia nini iko hapo kwa maji. Kuangalia naona mkono ya mtu. Then nikarudi nyuma. Nikaita wenye walikuwa karibu hapo. Nikawaita nikawaambia hebu kujeni muone kinye iko hapa ndani. Kukuja wa confirm wakasema ni mtu. Then wakaniambia usitoke hapo. Kaa tu hapo, lazima tengeneze. Nikasema ni sawa. After that nikachukua simu, hiyo simu nilikuwa nayo, nikapigia my mother. Nikamwambia nifika hapa kwa mtoni, kuna mwili wenu nimeona hapa. Sasa mnaweza pigia polisi ama chief yoyote wakuje. Wakakuja kuconfirm, wakareveal kumbe ni kweli. Nikakaa tu hapo hadi familia ikakuja, mapolisi wakakuja, wakamtoa. Then kumtoa nikasonga karibu ili nione. Alikuwa hana viatu. Alikuwa amevaa vest white na long yake ilikuwa imefungwa. Yani imefungwa kwa miguu yake. Then mkono yake nayo ilikuwa imefungwa at his back.
The boy who stumbled on Ayeko's body have exclusively narrated the harrowing ordeal to TV47.
Kaona kama macho yake haikuwa, domo, sikio lake. So nikaanza tu kulia. Then kakuwa transported, kabebwa hapo kapelekwa mchani. Kuni affect na imeni affect because nikifikiria kinye niliona, sioni kama I am normal, sioni kama niko normal sana.
Even after the chilling killing, Ayeko's killers never let his body free. They used his long trouser to tie his legs and again handcuffed him from the back using a handcuff serial number 2018 KP9486. In an exclusive interview with TV47, Ayeko's widow detailed the harrowing experience in searching for her husband.
Maybe to speak of my husband, it's very difficult. We called severally and sent him a message to please come home. So it's been hard. It's been truly hard. When this thing started, it looked like a nightmare that we'll wake up from it. But as the days go by, the nights go by, it's almost like a confirmation that for real, he's not there.
The widow says Ayeko's life was never threatened before, and her family still wonders who wanted Ayeko dead.
He loved people, and if there was something, and I've racked my brains, I've tried thinking about everything. There's nothing to warrant this. There's nothing. And if there was, I would have known. He was happy. He had his friends. I never heard that somebody really felt a certain way. No. And so my prayer is that at the end of this, or at the end of all of this, we will get to know who, how, and why.
The suspect by the name Otuchi, who provided the scene of crime where Ayeko would be killed, was paid 5,000 shillings by Cisco for killing and disposing Ayeko's body in Nyamboga River through his sister's mobile phone. Ayeko's killers made a final attempt to cover their tracks. A day after Ayeko was abducted, TV47 has established that two men were seen on CCTV at 6:05 p.m. driving his vehicle Ford Ranger double cabin pickup before abandoning it at Norman Petrol Station, located along Sabatia Ekero Road in Kakamega County. The damning call data report obtained by TV47 delivers a chilling revelation. Ayeko's killers went extreme lengths to cover their tracks. Not only did they avoid using their real identities, but they also exploited proxies' identification cards to register phone lines, ensuring their anonymity during the brutal murder. The prime suspect, Victor Ouma alias Cisco, was operating using the mobile number shown. Shockingly, the investigation have confirmed that this line was not registered under his name. Instead, he used his late sister ID number 3274905, to orchestrate communication during Ayeko's gruesome killing. A calculated move to erase his digital footprint. The boda rider by the name Charles Otieno Odhiambo alias Buddha, who has since confessed on how he transported the killers, was using a mobile phone number 0787360684 during the gruesome murder of Ayeko. The detectives have uncovered damning evidence leaving the four key suspects, Champe, Cisco, Godi, and Buddha, who remained in communication before, during, and after chilling murder of Willis Ayeko. Champe's mobile phone was mysteriously switched on and off in the hours leading up to the killing, and the moment Ayeko's body was discovered, he abruptly turned off his phone again. As Ayeko's Samsung phone was being used in Kisumu, investigators traced a continuous exchange of calls between Cisco and Champe, placing them right in the heart of the unfolding crime. Even more incriminating, the phone numbers belonging to Cisco and Champe were detected at the very location where Ayeko's car was abandoned after his abduction. But the most damning revelation, Cisco's mobile signal was also traced to the crime scene in Kisumu, where large withdrawals were being made using Ayeko's phone, confirming their direct involvement in the aftermath of the murder. Yet the true horror lies not just in the crime, but in the identities of those behind it. What raises eyebrows are the people who killed Ayeko. TV47 has been closely following the 5 individuals accused of executing this cold-blooded murder. Who really orchestrated this killing, and what sinister forces were at play? One of the prime suspects is Robert Wakolo Okoth, alias George Oduor, alias Michael Okoth, alias Champe. Champe is a person of interest in Ayeko's murder. Champe and his brother Cisco allegedly abducted and killed Ayeko. Champe told his girlfriend Esther Atieno that he is a military officer on assignment in Haiti. He used 4 different names, all in IDs, bearing his profile photos. Champe was always wearing military attires and had handcuffs. During our investigation, we traced the suspect to Nyamninia Secondary School, where the administration told us he scored a grade B+ in KCSE. He hired a Toyota Axio Grey in color, registration number KDN 948B, which he used after killing Ayeko. Champe fired at the detectives before escaping, leaving his girlfriend by the name Cyprus Woga to die during a fire exchange with the detectives. Champe would later be gunned down by the detectives at the Mulberry Guest House. Question arose: why was he killed by the police? Who sent him to kill Ayeko? Another interesting figure in Ayeko's gruesome murder is Victor Ouma Okoth, alias Cisco, alias Govins. He was arrested in Dandora, Nairobi, after a mobile phone he was using was placed at the scene of crime. He abducted Ayeko together with his brother Champe. Cisco was captured on CCTV footage withdrawing money from M-Pesa agent using Ayeko's phone. This is the guy who contacted the rider by the name Buddha to help him abduct Ayeko. Cisco was seen dragging Ayeko from his vehicle to Otuchi's son's house, where Ayeko would be killed. Cisco would later take a photo of Ayeko when dead, plus the photo of Ayeko's phone. Question arose: who was he sending the photo of Ayeko's phone to, and who sent him to kill Ayeko? Another interesting figure in Ayeko's murder is Duncan Ochingo Bongo, alias Otuchi. He is the man who is said to have provided a scene of crime where Ayeko was killed. Immediately after Ayeko was abducted, he was taken to Otuchi's son's house, where he would later be murdered. In October 2024, barely a day after Ayeko was abducted, Ayeko was heard screaming from Otuchi's son's house. Bank friend Otuchi entered the house where Ayeko was being held in captive, and Ayeko stopped screaming. Otuchi fled immediately when his sister told him that a dead body was discovered next to his home. Before Otuchi escaped, the killers sent him 5,000 Kenya shillings, suspected to be his payment for his role in killing Ayeko. Otuchi and the other killers disposed Ayeko's body at Nyamboga stream at night. Another key suspect is Charles Odhiambo alias Buddha. Buddha is the border rider who transported the killers to the abduction scene where Ayeko was kidnapped. He transported Cisco, the alleged killer, to and fro various M-Pesa dealers where 1.2 million shillings was withdrawn. He has confessed taking part in Ayeko's murder. Odhiambo is a former convict having served a jail term with Cisco at the Siaya prisons. Another key suspect in Ayeko's murder is Tom Toto, not his real name. Toto, on 20th October 2024, is said to have received 200 Kenya shillings from Ayeko's phone. TV47 has learned that Tom received the money while in Athi River, Machakos. The money was used to pay Tom's Fuliza loan. He was later released as detectives established that this was a diversionary tactic by the killers. But who wanted Ayeko dead and why? This is one of the tough questions investigators are struggling to piece together. As HR director in his workplace, Ayeko was said to be part of a team investigating a high-profile heist involving 94 million stolen from the security firm. The money belonging to Quickmart supermarket was supposed to be transported to a local bank. When contacted, the Wells Fargo chose not to answer the questions raised on Ayeko's role in the investigation or allegation he might have offended some people he fired. Another question that the detectives are also investigating is that the murder resulted from the random robbery. The post-mortem that was carried out by the government chief pathologist Johansen Odur at the Lee Funeral Home revealed that Ayeko cause of death was as a result of head injury due to a blunt force trauma. Wells Fargo told us that it decided to adopt a no-comment policy concerning the matter when we reached out. For now, Ayeko's family continues to grieve. They are left with one haunting question of why. Lennox Sengre for TV47 Crime Untold.
The big question remains, ladies and gentlemen, who killed Ayeko? Your feedback is immense. I'll read about 5 of them. I'll sample more even as we finish the bulletin. Start off with Timothy Muya says 5K, and they were that savage. Ingekuwa 20K hivi. Komisa says Yawa, who paid them. Queen Mother says, yeah, they should say who paid them and why. A final one, whatever any amount, it's very wrong to take away another person's precious life. I mean, it's just disgusting how our country has fallen. Sharon Lumumba says, this is serious. Most definitely, this is serious. This is your home of Untold Stories. We're taking a short break. Roda Jamai and I will be back to tell you more about sports and more news.
Are you ready to elevate your business game?
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
Kama wewe ni mfanyabiashara, huwezi kaa bure, unajipanga taratibu vile inavyofaa.
Join us each week as we dive into the stories of the world's most driven entrepreneurs.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
The Grind, where business meets brilliance. Tune in every Monday at 7:30 p.m. because your business deserves the best.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in?
I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side. We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated and you may end up raising the child on your own.
Here, we inspire.
I have a farm which one we showcase with other dyslexic youths and autism, how to farm.
Motivate.
It's never easy, but what we do, the best thing is to work with another parent who has an elder child than yours.
And break through the barriers one story at a time. Push your boundaries beyond the limit. Saturdays at 8 p.m.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your home of Untold Stories. Rhoda Nyamai and I are back. This is TV47 Weekend Edition. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyaringita. Before the break, we give you a special edition, the special feature of Who Killed Ayeko by ours truly, Lennox Sengre. And your feedback is immensely coming in. I'll sample but a few, and I'll be sampling more as we continue. Ombima on Facebook says, it is sad someone can claim a life for paltry 5,000 Kenyan shillings. Poverty is bad. That is according to him. Roseanne Cab says justice iko mbinguni too. Charles Culey says money can buy anything. Steve Mwenda compares whatever happened here to the biblical story. He says this story resembles that of Jesus Christ and Judas. Just a mere amount of money costing a precious life. Too bad. A final one. Leda Mzee, oh really sad. Only 5,000 Kenyan shillings. Just comparing and taking a look at what happened in that particular story. Let's get into matters sports now.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets.
Account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Bet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia,
Right, folks, tonight about Matters Sports, we tell you about a traditional South Asian sport. It has 2 interesting words, Coco. This particular sport has been in the country for 5 years now. It was introduced in the country back in 2020, and in different parts of the country, it has been gaining popularity. Our sports reporter Duncan Mutua, aka Askofu wa Michezo, gives us a look at this sport.
Out, play on.
Coco, a traditional South Asian sport that dates to the ancient India. It is the second most popular tradition tag game in India's subcontinent after Kabaddi, and it is among the newest sports in Kenya. Within the few years since the sport was introduced in the country, the national team has already left a mark in the international competition, like World Cup.
Since it was our first World Cup, we have never attended any major event like that one. So the experience was good. We learned a lot from the other nations that have been playing Coco all through. The likes of India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. So we got our experience and learned techniques and the way they are doing things over there.
It was nice, we had fun, we learned more skills. Yeah, we explored, we had a lot of exposure.
It was until the year 2020 when the sport was introduced in Kenya after a squad of 3 Kenyans, Martin Abundos, current technical director of the Kenya Coco Federation, Brian Onyo, the head coach of the women national team, and Simon Bugwa, the current vice president of the Coco Federation, honored an invite to attend a coaching course in India, and when they jetted back, they introduced the sport in Kenya.
Coco was introduced in Kenya in 2020. So we went to India in 2020 for our international coaching course. So we were 3 of us. So Coach Martin Abundes, the technical director of the federation, and Coach Simon, who's the vice president of Kenya Coco Federation. So we were invited to India, New Delhi for the coaching course. So after the coaching course in 2020, we came back to Kenya, and that's when we introduced the game from 2020. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Back up.
I embarked on a mission to understand this sport, which looked like I once tried it in my childhood era. How it got its root in a country known for athletics. We linked up with Coach Brian Onyo during his daily duties of nurturing talents to give us an in-depth insight about this sport.
It's played with 9 players each per team for 3 to 4 innings. So an inning consists of 9 minutes. It's a total of 18 minutes. So these are the players. So the players are 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I will go down. We go down, 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 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 are squatting. The 9th player, the one standing, is the one starting the game. So for this player to stand from here, so this position is called, the place they are squatting is called a chaser block. So for this player to stand, you'll tap at the back and say "ko." Just tap, touch, say "ko," "ko." He'll stand. I'll take the position he was in, facing that side. We're going to continue. Give "ko," faster.
It is played on a rectangular court with a central lane connecting 2 poles, which are at either end of the court. During the game, 9 players from the chasing team, that is the attacking team, are on the field, with 8 of them sitting in the central lane, while 3 runners from the defending team run around the court to try to avoid being touched. Each sitting player on the chasing team faces the opposite half of the field that their adjacent teammates are facing. In the game, 1 player from the chasing team may run around the court, touch a member of the defending team. Each successful tag earns 1 point, and tag defender must leave the field.
So the squatting players are called chasers or the attackers. The 3 are called defenders. So they are defending for 9 minutes, okay? So points awarded, the 3 are opponents now, that's a different team. So points are awarded like this. 1, if you get caught, that's 1 point, is out, okay? Out of play. If he stays inside the field for 3 minutes without being caught, that's a bonus point of 3 points, okay? Around here we have a pole. So if the attacker does a pole dive, that's 2 points. 2 points, okay?
However, the active chaser is restricted from crossing the central lane to assess the other half of the court and cannot change direction once they begin running towards either pole. These restrictions can be bypassed if the active chaser either switches role with the sitting teammates by touching them on the back while saying "ko," who is facing on the other half of the court, or by running behind either pole to switch direction or halves.
Step number 1. So for the player to stand, you touch and give ko. Assume the position he was like that. So he was facing this side, I'll face this side. Come back here. This position is wrong. When the 2 players are facing the same position, it's not allowed. So it's wrong, but it's not a foul. So they'll just change. So the measurement of the field is 16 by 26, the measurements. So we have this place here, this is called the free zone. So the game is called a free zone. So at the free zone, it's the only place you're allowed to change direction. So rules number 1 of the game. The player here is not allowed to change direction. So the ones who are squatting are called chasers. Chasers or attackers. And then we'll have 3 players to come in. 3. So the 3 are called defenders or runners. Their main work is to run, not to be caught by the chasers. So the 3 defenders, they're allowed to cross this side. So when a defender crosses this side, only players facing this side can touch the player.
There are other different unofficial varieties of koko, which include shortest time wins, sako koko, standing koko, and kokad.
The official one, we have 9 players. The official one, 15 plus 9. The other one, it's 12 playing and the 7 starting. So the 7 starting, we have 6 squatting, and then the 7th one also have different clubs for ladies. So a team consists of 15 players, 9 playing, and the rest remain their subs.
It is not an expensive game, though the main challenges faced by athletes of different sports disciplines here in Kenya is training facilities. This young federation found themselves training along the road, just few meters outside Moi Sports Center, Kasarani, indoor arena.
So like here, there are some techniques we can't execute here nicely, like diving, pole dive we can't do here. Players will get injuries. So if we do it indoor, where we have the mats, things will be great. The expensive thing is the mat. And then the ground, we usually liaise with the schools and we get grounds where we train. So the expense majority is there, mainly is there, the mats and the indoor arenas. Those are the main expensive things that I can say Coco needs.
From India to Kenya, Coco has been in the country for just 5 years. And Coco stakeholders are hoping one day Kenyans will embrace it and make this sport among their favorites. My name is Duncan Mutua.
Sports news brought to you by Maybets.
Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1 au draw X au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako. Chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybets. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia.
Thank you very much, Duncan Mutua. For more sporting action, make sure you tune in for Monday Blades tomorrow at 8 a.m. on Morning Cafe. Thank you as well to you, dear viewer, for sticking around from 9 p.m. all the way until now. Rhoda Nyamai has been on the Sign Language docket. I'm yours truly, Stanley Nyaringita. On behalf of the entire amazing crew right here, have yourself a super Sunday. Goodbye.